you guys, I wanted to make this video because I was just thinking this would be a good video topic. A long time ago, several years at least, and then I had the pleasure of going to a mental institution for a couple of days. I think I was there for 5 days. It was like, I had someone who said that they were going to call the police if I left the location I was in when I went. So when they said that, then I decided, you know what? Why make the police look for me? I'll just go there. So I went to the police station and I turned myself in. When I turned myself in, I was wearing a shirt that said, "I want to die, ask me why" on it. And then when the police asked me why was the person gonna call the police if I left the house, then I said, well, I think that person thought I was suicidal or whatever. And even though I left the house, that's where all my like instruments of destruction would be anyway. Like, so I was like, plus I came here, you know, it's not like there's anything here. But anyway, so then the cop asked me if I had anything they needed to know about, because I was in my power chair at the time, and I was gonna leave my power chair there. We were gonna go. The cop was gonna take me over to, like, he was gonna take me to where my manual chair was, and then I was gonna get my manual chair to take to the place. And so anyway, but the cops asked me if there was anything they needed to know about, and I was like, oh yeah, well, we just got back from Colorado, land of the legal marijuana. And so of course I had some weed on me. I also had some edibles, which I turned in because I love the police department. I feel I want to respect their wishes and all that crap. But then later I realized, like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have turned those in. I don't think they would have even known what they were. But, you know, I wanted to do the right thing. But then later, one day when I was drawing on the sidewalk, a different police officer pulled me over to see what I was doing, or no, I was dancing in the street, and he told me to get on the sidewalk. And I told that guy, I was like, hey, could I get my marijuana back? Like, what would happen if I went into the police station and just asked for my confiscated goods back, because hey, it's legal now? But he advised me against that. He was like, yeah, I wouldn't go to the police station and ask for your weed back. Sorry. But anyway, okay, back to the mental institution. So I got my manuals here. I went to the mental place. Like, this place is actually a crisis like center, so it's it is mental place. They do an assessment when you first get there. You speak with doctors, and which was, oh my goodness. Okay, I've just got to say, like, at the time I went to that place, I was very stressed out. Let's just put it that way. I was in a not very good mental place. I wasn't like crazy or anything, but I was definitely, that was back when I was planning on killing myself in the year 2027. If I wasn't already dead, and all that stuff, which I told the mental people that. I was like, well, I'm kind of suicidal, but not really, but I'm not even doing that anymore, so don't kill me or anything. Because I'm not gonna do that now. I'm gonna stick around for as long as possible, blah, blah, blah. Because I have stuff to do. But anyway, so, mental institution. Yeah, it was great. Went there. I think I went there at night, though, and so I just had a room and stuff, and then the next day was when I saw the doctors and all that stuff. And then I also met a lot of really great people there, okay? The reason, you know how I love knee highs? so much. So much. The reason, the whole inspiration behind the knee highs goes back to that place. There was a girl there who, she always wore knee highs with like her sweats or whatever, and she would put the knee highs on outside of her sweats, and that was where I first like saw him and thought, oh man, like that would be perfect for someone who's in a wheelchair, because we don't have to wear shoes, and so we can just show off all the actual toes and all that stuff. It works out really good. And so, because I think she wore flip-flops all the time, but it was really cold, I think. I'm trying to remember. It was kind of cold. It wasn't like super, super cold, but I think it was in fall. Anyway, so that's where I learned about the knee highs and had the realization that they would be perfect. Okay, another thing I learned that there's a lot of reasons that people are hurting, and people do drastic things when you're in a drastic situation. Like one girl, the girl with the knee highs, hey, shout out to you if you're out there and you're watching this. The girl with the knee highs, she had, the reason she was in that mental place was because she had jumped out of a moving vehicle with her. She was with her mom, and her mom was going off on her about, like, blah, blah, blah. You know, I know exactly what that's like. Not with my mom, but with an abuser who likes to nitpick every single little thing you're doing wrong. It's so frustrating. I have wanted to jump from a moving vehicle. I've thought about it. I've considered it. She actually did it. And that's why she ended up in the mental place. And then there was another, like, I met this guy who was in a wheelchair, and he was like a vet, you know, he had served overseas and stuff, and he was married. I don't know, it was just like, when I met him, when I really started talking to him, at this point in my life, I was really isolated. I had isolated myself from a lot of, like, stuff. There's various reasons that I had done that, but, so he was, like, the first person, other than me, who I'd actually, like, talked to, who was in a wheelchair, and, it was really important. I really, like, I don't know, I value that. The time I spent there, I learned other stuff. I learned about bipolar. Like, there's this guy who got to speak, he went up to give, like, a little pep talk or whatever, and he was telling all about how he's bipolar, and you know, he's suffered with episodes of depression and stuff, but at one point he ended up in jail because he was in, like, a fancy hotel, I think it was, and he decided to ride it up and down the glass elevator naked, of course, you know, because if you're gonna do something, might as well do it naked, right? Don't actually take that advice, all you kids out there. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. Okay, anyway, this guy ended up in jail because of it, because he was, I don't remember what he was doing, but there was something he was doing on the elevator. Anyway, it was like, in a lot of ways that, I'm pretty sure I was there for 5 days, and that was a really important 5 days that changed my life in a lot of ways, and I value that time there. I'm glad for what I learned there, thanks to the knee-high girl. That I will remember you, like, all the time. But yeah, and thanks to, like, everyone that I met there, I really value that time and stuff. And so if you're out there and you're struggling with mental issues, or if you're in some place like that now, or if you've been there, then tell me about it in the comments. Tell me what's the craziest thing you've ever done. hey, does it top mine? I use that for my story. When I go to doctor's offices, then I say, I'm a waiting room rebel, you know, because I don't like to watch the TV and I can face my chair wherever. And so I ask people what's the craziest thing they've ever done. And then if they're having a hard time, then I'll ask if it's because there's so many crazy things that they can't pick one. Or if it's because they never do crazy things. And people are usually one or the other. You know, I've met both in the waiting room. It's awesome. Be waiting room rebels. If you need to go to a mental institution or whatever, go. You know, they have some good tips. Like, that was a really good time for me, and you might learn something that will literally change your life. Like the potential of knee highs. But tell me about your experiences with crazy in the comments. Bye.